I offer my most humble pranams at our beloved Guru, Swami's lotus feet. Sai Ram to everyone. Firstly, I want to take a quick minute to thank the members of the center for giving us, the alumni of Swami's institutions, to be a part of this program and share some of our thoughts and stories with all of you today, and hopefully it'll resonate with all of you. The way we are going to do this today is I will be the moderator, and we have few of our brothers and sister Anita joining us, and they have curated some of the most impactful stories, experiences, and most importantly, the lessons that they have learned from Swami as a guru, which they would like to share with all of you. Before we jump in, I think it'll be good if we can do a quick round of introductions. Some of you may have seen us, some of you may know us more versus the others, so it'll be good for us to just quickly do a quick round of introduction. Brothers and sisters, so if you want to start with Sister Anita, if you can just tell your name, which institutions that you were a part of, how many years were you there, and in what time period, because it's important in the face of Swami's life as well. So if you can just take a quick minute to introduce yourself, and then we'll go around the horn.
Sure. Sai Ram, everyone. So I'm Anita, and I was part of Anantapur Shri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning at Anantapur from 1998 to 2002, and I did my undergrad and honors in physics. And I'm currently living in Atlanta with my husband Sai Shekhar and my two little kids and my father-in-law here. So that's it.
Thank you, sister. Brother Praveen.
Sai Ram, brother. This is Praveen Sachwani. I have had the fortune of being part of a Prashanti Nilayam campus from 1995 to 2002. I did my integrated post-graduation along with MTech.
Sai Ram, everyone. My name is Kranti Kumar. I joined Swami's Institute in 2006 and I finished my MTech there, BSc, MSc and MTech there.
Sai Ram, my name is Hemant Venkateswara. I joined Swami's institutions in 1988 for my first grade. I finished in 2007 with my master's.
Sai Ram, everyone. I'm Praveen PVS. I joined Swami's school for 11th standard in 2001 and went on to do my BSc, MSc, MTech and passed out in 2010.
Thank you. My name is Nikhil. I am clearly the least experienced in terms of the number of years I have spent with Swami. I did my MBA there just for 2 years from 2005 to 2007. So let's get into this. Yes, it is a privilege, it is a blessing to be a part of his institutions, which only he can bestow on us. And we are all very, very grateful and thankful to him for that. But that said, it is very different, and he has made it very evident abundantly that being a student of his organization or his institution is not the same as being called a Sai student. He has said this number of times. And that is a title that we all yearn. And it requires much more than that, just being a part of the four walls of his education institution. So as we go through the stories today, if there are two things that we would all like all of you to take away, they are these, right? Number one, anybody and everybody can be, has been, and will be Sai student. We all earn, it's a level playing field. We are all in it together to earn that title. And number two, Guru is like two syllables. Generally, it is described as Gu stands for Gunatita, which is beyond qualities. Ru stands for Rupavarjita, which is beyond form. And the reason I say this is because the lessons that Swami teaches us, he embodies these two things so perfectly by being a perfect guru. It comes in so many different ways and forms and shapes and through so many different channels. So the lesson is more important as we go through the stories and experiences. We might very easily get carried away by the specific of the incident, the conversation, some materialization, anything. But ultimately, it's the lesson that we all yearn to learn from him and use it in our lives. So I would like all of us to focus on the lesson and not get carried away just by the incident, right? Because that is incidental. Like ultimately, it's the lesson that takes us forward. I think we all relate to Swami in so many different ways, so many different relationships. But to me personally, to relate to him as a student or relate him to be my guru is very, very important. Because the moment I give him the pedestal of God, I feel like psychologically for me, it is like he's somewhere out of reach. He will do some magic from somewhere. And then there is good and bad keeps happening in my life and he takes control. So I have zero control over that. Right? But the moment I call him or relate to him as a guru, I feel like he's teaching me something. There is some change required. I am expected to make some behavior change, mindset change, whatever that is. So there is an action element to it, which always comes to me. And this comes about in so many different ways. And as we go through the stories today, you will realize, right? Some are direct, some are very indirect, some are through him, some are not at all through him, but we will realize that it is actually him that he's given us. Some are more profound than some are very mundane, but the lessons are always there. I will start with one simple example, and then we will go over to listen to more interesting stories. When I was there, we were practicing for a drama. For some occasion, I'm not exactly sure what the occasion was. And Swami takes the plays and dramas that his students put up very, very seriously. And Brother Hemant can tell more, and if you find him some other time, you should talk to him. He has spent years and years doing dramas there, and how important Swami takes this as. And there was one drama, apparently, this was for convocation. And as you would all know, probably, the dramas put up there are very heavy on costumes. And he takes a lot of personal interest in designing those costumes and approving those costumes and making sure that everybody is looking perfect for the character that they are playing. And there was this drama practice once which was happening in Purnachandra Auditorium. It was just before the day before the actual drama, and it was a dress rehearsal. All of them were dressed up in their characters, and Swami came for the rehearsal, and Swami saw the whole rehearsal, and then he was just about to leave. And for those of you who know, like Purnachandra Auditorium is a massive auditorium. It has a very grand stage and then a huge area where people are seated, right? So they were there and the people were seating area is there, not on the stage. And then Swami sat there and saw the whole program. And just before he got up and went, all the students wanted to go and take Pad Namaskar. And they went up to him. And Swami refused and said, no, don't. And then people did not know really like why he is saying that. And then he walked all the way up. And for those of you who know, the entrance to Purnachandra Auditorium from Swami's residence is behind the stage. So he comes through the stage. So he walked up on the stage and then he called all the students and he said, come take Pad Namaskar now, because now you don't need to bend to take my Namaskar, you are wearing a costume. So in this small gesture, I felt there were so many things that he communicated, right? So the concern for the students, the importance that he gives for their costumes and character, the presence of mind in that moment to say that as a role model, you can learn so many things from him. So as we go through these incidents, I think it will be wonderful for us to take note of so many small things that he did in our lives, which are very, very invaluable. With that, I would like to start with Brother Praveen. I think there are so many things in your 7 years of stay there. You have learned so many things, many profound incidents. So, brother, why don't you want to share with us on some of those?
Sure, brother. Thank you. Sairam to all of you. As I was preparing for this particular session, and I was trying to sort of pray to Swami on what should I share. There are innumerable number of. Thank you, brother. Is this better? Okay. Yeah, no. So I was saying that as we were preparing for this session, praying to Swami on what are those most I think deep impacting incidents and movements that we had with Swami, which would sort of be fit for this occasion. I actually remembered of one of the discourses on Guru Purnima. In fact, this morning when I was looking for some of this material on the net, and I saw this discourse that Swami gave on teachers. And he said there are 3 kinds of teachers. The teachers who inform, and then there are teachers who explain, and then there are teachers who inspire. And he was basically encouraging all the teachers in that audience to be the teachers who inspire students with their actions, with their words. And he said that when you do that, you basically get the best out of your student. Okay. And I was listening to this, and obviously I was, realizing the fact that Swami in our life has been our guru for each one of us. And he has been inspiring us, obviously, through his actions and through his discourses and through his words. But he has also been guiding us. He has been within us, and he has been guiding us through each moment of our life. One such incident that I recollect here, I was basically in my 10th or 11th standard. This was around 1992. I was part of the Bal Vikas Samiti, and then we actually got a chance to come to Puttaparthi for the Seva. We all came in for Seva, and the first day there was a meeting to assign all our portfolios to us. This was first time for me. I never knew how the Seva looks like. We all sat and we were assigned our portfolios, and I got an opportunity to be a Sevadal in the super specialty hospital. And this was almost the first batch of Sevadal. The hospital had just opened up, and this was the very first batch of Sevadal, and I was very excited. So it was a particular day on Monday morning. We all reached at 6 o'clock to the hospital. And in the hospital, they basically assigned us various portfolios. So one of the portfolio was basically in the canteen. You need to help serving the food, and at the end of the dinner and lunch sessions, you clean up the whole canteen. And the other portfolio was in the wards, assisting the nurses. And then, everyone was assigned their portfolio, and I was not on the list. Okay, everything got over, and at the end of it, I basically reached out that I didn't have a portfolio. So they said, okay, you do one thing. There is a doctor's conference room on the first floor. Okay, and they said you need to be there to take care of the hospitality for the doctors. Okay, and I was assigned a night duty. Now the interesting thing was, being alone and darkness was one of my worst fears. So in my childhood, we used to live in a railway quarter, and in railway quarters, typically you have restrooms which are, outside the house at the end of the court, big backyard. And that, going to the restroom at night was worst of my fears, right? So I had 3 sisters who were all younger to me. The eldest of them was 3 years younger to me. And in my 10th standard, she would have been like her 7th, 8th standard, right? And if I visit restroom, I have to have her standing outside, right? And throughout the time when I'm inside, I keep checking with her, are you there or not? That is how I was fearful of this. And here I was basically night duty. You have to first go to the canteen, help clean up the canteen. Around, after midnight, you need to go, be in this conference room. There is no one absolutely. The hospital had just opened up. You come out of the conference room, and there's a huge corridor with all the wards, and almost no patients at that point of time. And I just did Swami, what is this? Like how will I survive 21 days of seva here, like being alone in that? So first day I used to sit in the conference room. I never used to step in the conference room, okay? I used to be on the door, or sometimes even sitting outside, because even if, the passers-by in the corridor, at least I have some human presence around me. 5th day of my seva there, Swami's photograph was there, and suddenly I felt that Swami popped out of the photograph, chasing me with big nails, okay? And I got up from the room, I ran in the corridor, okay? I ran half the way, and suddenly a thought struck me that whom am I running away from, right? And I suddenly stopped, and I turned, and I walked back into the room. And that day, till today, there is no fear, right? There is no fear of darkness, there is no fear of loneliness. In fact, now my whole family is in India, and I'm actually staying alone in my big house in Atlanta. So this is very subtle, but very profound. After this, I continued my studies. I had a fortune of, getting admission into Prashanthi Nilayam campus, and 2 or 3 months into the college session, this was Swami's 70th birthday. So Swami used to basically call all the students for a class every day for just having giving them interview and things like that. It was 22nd of September. Swami called the first BSc Mathematics where I was a student. 63 of us ran, crammed inside a small room, and Swami was basically talking to us on all the topics, including pollution, including environmental science, and answering any questions that people have, very physical questions, very spiritual questions. And suddenly I got a courage and I asked Swami, Swami, how should we control bad thoughts? Okay, and then Swami again gave me an example. Swami said, incidentally, this again happened to be related to restroom, but Swami said, suppose you have a restroom and the door is open and there's a lot of foul smell coming in, what do you do? So obviously I didn't have an answer, and then Swami looked at me and Swami said, first you'll close the door and then you'll light a agarbatti, right? Similarly, when you have bad thoughts, you shut them down and then you entertain the good thoughts. Okay, that was like a very physical way of imparting this question. Few days later, I was basically coming in for darshan at 3 o'clock, and as soon as I entered the Ganesh gate, I saw my Bal Vikas Guru standing there. And basically he stopped me, and I don't know how many of you know Ragesh Shankar. He was actually my first Bal Vikas Guru. So, and he was actually standing there, and he basically said, we have just come for a Sevadal, and 2 days ago your youngest sister has met with an accident. And here is a letter mom has given, if possible, pray to Swami for her. So I took that letter, I ran in, obviously sat, where Swami Samadhi is on the white stage. I got a place there to sit right in the middle. So we were a huge bunch of students sitting, and I was sitting right in the middle. And I read my mother's letter, who basically described how the accident had happened. It was pretty serious. And my mother said she had a couple of fractures in the body. All I recollected was her wrist was fractured and she had an injury in her backbone. I was sitting right in the center, and I thought there is nothing much I can do today because I'm not on the pathway where Swami walks. Coincidentally, what happened was Swami came for darshan. Swami went inside the interview room, finished his interview, and then came out. He came out through the portico and suddenly stopped at the right, in the row that I was sitting. He turned and he wanted to cross the stage to go down to the students. And as soon as Swami did that, we understood Swami wants to walk by, and we split and we gave way to Swami, and I was right on the pathway. He came in and he stood in front of me, and he just kept staring at me as though I am here. You want to say something? Say. So I suddenly got up and I said, Swami, I had my mother's letter in my hand. I gave that letter to Swami and I said, Swami, sister met with an accident. He said, what happened? I said, Swami, she has fractured her wrist. He said, that's it? Nothing else? I said, no, Swami, backbone also there is a fracture. Swami said, no, there is a hairline crack in the spinal column, no fracture. And then he basically created a vibhuti and he said, send it to her. And then he walked 2 to 3 steps ahead and then he turned back. He said, by the way, your second sister also has met with an accident. And I was like literally confused. I have 3 sisters. And then Swami saw my face suddenly going small, and then he said, don't worry, Princess Diana. So the previous night, Princess Diana had met with an accident. And he said, Princess Diana also met with an accident. Isn't everyone your brother and sister? Like he literally meant like universal brother and sister. All our brothers and sisters. Why is only this sister? And that had a very deep, profound impact on me. Like even today, like the way I behave with my siblings versus how I behave with my classmates, versus how I behave with my colleague, this whole lesson resounds. The last thing is, during one of those days, Swami had a discourse. Swami actually gave a discourse on devotion, and Swami explained how important devotion is. Somehow when I went back to the hostel, I was very confused, like, how do I inculcate devotion? Like, isn't this something that you're born with? Like, what do you do to inculcate devotion? Like, you can inculcate discipline, you can be aware of duty, but how do you inculcate devotion? Am I devoted? Am I not devoted? I slept with these thoughts. Next day morning, we used to stay in a dormitory. One of my classmates got up after Suprabhatam and he said, I got a dream. I said, what was the dream? He said, I was asking Swami, what is devotion? like Swami came to him and Swami basically asked him what is devotion, and he wasn't able to explain. And then Swami said, what? Nobody ever told you what is devotion? He said, devotion to God is loving God. And loving God is following God. Okay, and this is where obviously I was in tears, because I slept with this thought that how do I practice devotion? How do I get devotion? And then Swami basically comes in the dream of my classmate who is just sleeping next to me through his dream and explained. So these are few things, there are innumerable incidents. He's basically guiding us very subtly all through our life. And I feel very fortunate to be part of his mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Praveen. You pretty much summarized a lot of what initially I had said on direct, indirect, your fear, and even some practical tips on how to avoid bad thoughts. Very, very helpful. And in the spirit of getting scared, Swami has also used anger to teach a lot of lessons, right? Because as a guru, you also want to be stern and send messages. So, Praveen, brother, you had something to share where Swami was not so easy to, interact with, and that sent a lot of good messages to the students. You want to narrate them?
Yes. Sairam everyone. So during our college days, we used to have a lot of opportunities to showcase our talent. So that Brother Nikhil was telling about the dramas. So dramas used to be very important occasion where we used to be with Swami, and Swami used to personally guide each one of us, being the character, being the script that we used to write, and Swami used to correct those scripts and used to also enact sometimes, say, hey, this particular scene you're supposed to do this way. So those opportunities was very, very used to be good for all of us, so that we used to be in the physical presence throughout. So one such occasion in my second PG, so it was in 2008, and the second PG students, the outgoing students, used to put up a drama on Independence Day. So on Independence Day, they used to put up a drama in the Sai Kulwant Hall in front of Swami, and in the evening, we used to put up a program in the hostel too for all our hostel inmates. Since there were two programs and the class used to divide into two parts, and one part used to take care of the drama in front of Swami, and the other group used to take care in the hostel. Okay, for some reason, these two groups are not going well between both of them, and one is like the drama, the group that is putting up in front of Swami was not helping the other group. Okay, somehow this is not going well within the class, and one day Swami, 2 days before the Independence Day, Swami has called for an dress rehearsal. Okay, so Swami came to our institute auditorium, and for some reason that information that Swami was expecting a dress rehearsal has not reached the students, and all students turned up in the white. They were not wearing the costumes. So Swami came and asked for the dresses, then said, Swami, sorry, we did not know about the dresses. Said, Swami, okay, go ahead and let's have the drama now. So in the auditorium, we were all showing up the drama, and it's all Independence Day. One of the scenes was about Simon Go Back scene, okay, so where there was a protest by the Indians and the British soldiers coming and beating all the Indians in that particular scene. And some of us noticed that Swami was visibly upset. Okay, so upset with the scene that is enacting it, because there was a lot of violence, fighting, and all of that. So Swami sat throughout the drama, and at the end of drama, he did not talk to any one of us. He started walking back. So some of us went forward to Swami and asked us, Swami, what we should name this drama? Swami said, keep fighting and scolding. That's all you're doing in this particular drama, and he walked away from there. So we were kind of, not upset, but kind of wondering what happened, why Swami did say that, because it was part of the drama that we are supposed to beaten up by the British soldiers and all of that, why it was Swami said like that and went. So we went back to the hostel. That day evening, we got a message that our drama is cancelled. Okay, so that kind of put more thing onto us, right? Hey, we practiced so much. Why did Swami cancel our drama? Did he not like it? Should we go and change our script? Should we do something? Then warden sir said, no, there is no choice. Swami said, no drama this year. So, that is one part of it. So after that, what happened, since this group did not have any other thing to do, so they came, joined the other group, and started practicing to put up a good show in the hostel. So that kind of made as a unity among those two groups, and they put up a good show. Okay, so but after 2 days on Independence Day, we were surprised to see a drama put up by one of the Samiti members. Apparently, after all of this happened, we got to know that there are one of the Samiti members from one of the states has had a similar story what we planned it to show up, but they kind of showed it in very, very different way. Okay, so Swami did not, because as a students, we keep getting the opportunities again and again, but Samiti people, they get once in a year to visit it. Swami did not want to kind of give away that chance from them. So, but he took a chance with us, but he gave us the chance to be with us and saw our drama. At the same time, he has given chance to the Samiti people to put up a drama, and also gave a good lesson to all of us that, hey, you're putting a drama for independent, but you are not showing the unity among yourselves, and you both groups in the Australia kind of fighting. It's not fighting exactly, but there's a rift between both the groups. You should be unity among themselves. And you need not show the violence the way you're showing it, because the Samiti people have showed the violence in very, very different way that kind of draw the same message but in a different way. So those are the key takeaways that Swami has personally shown us, to be always united. Whatever you're doing, be always united and take it from there.
Thank you, brother. Two things that stuck to me when I heard this was, again and again we have heard in multiple dramas on how Swami was very particular in portraying negative emotions. He was very conscious that it should not be impacting the character, right? Because we get into that, show some negative emotion. He was very particular on how you portray that. And you shouldn't show violence. You are not going to do it as a part of the story. It's a character. He was very, very particular in how students enact that. Another example that came to my mind while he was talking was, all of you will be familiar with this bhajan, Raghava Sundara Rama Manohara, right? Like Raghava Sundara Rama Manohara. In that bhajan, there is a line which goes as Ravana Mardana Vigna Bhanjana. And somebody, just to show how well they can sing, they were singing Ravana Mardana. And then Swami apparently commented, said, why are you glorifying Ravana? You are singing Rama not that much, like, but in Ravana you are glorifying so much. But we get caught in the singing and we forget what we are doing. So he's so particular on what we take seriously versus not. I was just reminded of that. Brother Kranti, so it is also quite natural, right? Like, he's guru of gurus to all of us. Though in the institute all the students ask him for advice, it's not just for the students that he's a guru. He's a guru for the gurus also. The teachers also need him. And Brother Kranti had a very nice, interesting, funny story that he wanted to share with us on how Swami helped the teachers. Brother, do you want to share that?
Yeah, sure. Sairam everyone. So, as part of our college, there are many situations when the teachers also don't know what to do in some critical areas and all that, and they would go to Swami for help. So one such incident is, the way Prashant Nilayam, the exams, everything will be planned is like, the exams will be on a particular date for all the classes together at once. And then even if one date is missed for any reason, so the whole schedule has to change, because people will be booking the tickets to go home, and all of that will change. So that they don't want to happen, and they don't want any exam to be missed for any reason. So once what happened was, there was a strike. So some political issue was going on in the state, and there was a strike, and it was a very strict one, where the political party wanted to stop all the schools, all the colleges, shops, everything shut for a few days. So nobody knows what to do. So there is no way the college can be open, and then the teachers also didn't know what to do, and we cannot stop the exams at any cost. If we stop the exams, everything will get shifted. So obviously for all the teachers went together to Swami. Swami, we don't know what to do. This is what is happening. So please guide us. Tell us what we can do. Should we cancel the exam or what? All that. Swami just looked at them and asked, what time does all this political strikes and everything start? What time do they start? He asked. They said morning 9 or 10, Swami. Okay, you all do one thing. Conduct your exams at morning 5 o'clock. Let all the students come to college, start the exam by 5. 7:30 exam gets over. 8 o'clock people will be back in the hostel. What will they do? Nobody will get to know that you have written exam. And then that year, all the annual exams, they have conducted at morning 5 o'clock. All the students went to college, finished their exam, and they are in the hostel back at 7:30. And nobody knew that college was even open. So such small solution, right? So sometimes we'll not be able to see that such thing can happen, and Swami has, in a very easy way, has guided all the teachers like, see, you can solve this problem without any much thought or anything, and he guided and then he helped in this particular situation. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kranti. We've heard quite a few instances now on how Swami has helped in person, right, by himself. There are also situations where he doesn't need to be there. We don't think he is there for all of us now, for instance. But he is still there guiding all of us. And I think Sister Anita had a wonderful story where it was not directly, but how clearly it was evident that Swami had helped her in a very difficult situation. Sister, do you want to share your story?
Sure. So, Sairam everyone. So, here is my story which relates when Praveen brother, he mentioned that teacher as an inspiration, one of the teacher as an inspiration, he said, right? So that's what it correlates here. And I was in my final year, and I was in midst of mid-semester exams, taking the physics exams. And suddenly I started developing I was feeling very cold, and I was not able to pay attention on writing the exam. Then my teacher, she was looking at me, Anita, are you okay? And she was inquiring so many questions. But I tried to attempt, and I was writing, like, I was thinking, chanting Sairam, Sairam, I was trying to attend that exam. But somehow my fever, it was rising, and I was not at all able to write. So my teacher said, okay, that's fine. You are not able to attend the exam, and we can give you another chance. I will talk to the principal. And she sent me back to the hostel to take some rest. And it happens to be like the next day, we were supposed to go to Puttaparthi for Varalakshmi Vratam. So every occasion, Swami calls all his students from Vrindavan and from Anantapur. Of course, Prashanti brothers are right there. So we all go to Puttaparthi and have his darshan. So we all sisters got into the bus, and we went to Varalakshmi Vratam to attend that program. Immediately after we reached there, my teacher, she took me straight to the general hospital, and she consulted the doctor there. And when the doctor saw me, by then I was very weak. And that doctor happens to be Dr. Suma, with whom my father-in-law, he worked there while at Parthi at the general hospital. So Dr. Suma, she so nicely, I was given drips also. So it went to that situation. And all the blood work and everything was done. And then we all returned back to Anantapur after Varalakshmi Vratam. And the next day, blood work results came to our teacher, and she called me, Jaima ma'am. She called me and said, child, your blood work shows that you have jaundice, and it's in a little higher severity stage, and we want you to move to the sick room. And you will be given all the sick diet because you are not supposed to eat the regular food. So all my friends from my room, they all helped me packing my belongings, and I was moved to the sick room. And then while over there, I was chanting Sairam, Sairam, and I was thinking of my parents, and oh, I'm here, Swami, how is it going to happen? Like, I didn't even write the exam well, and how will I go further? So then Jaima ma'am, she called me, and then she said, child, do you want to talk to your parents and want to inform that you have this jaundice? So I said, yes, ma'am, surely. So she connected, and I spoke to my parents. And actually, in Anantapur, we students are not supposed to talk to our parents directly. So there is an office room at the downstairs, and there is a Sailila Akka who takes care of all these phone calls. So when our parents call, they inform us They call us by name. We come down and again wait for the next call so that our parents call back again. And then when again our parents call, we go there, and when whatever our parents communicate to our Salilaka, she will tell us, and our reply to her, she will inform to our parents. So that was the situation. We were not supposed to talk directly to our parents. So that's the only thing that I spoke to my parents directly with the tenure of 3 years while at Anantapur. So I spoke to my parents and I informed, and I came back to my room and I slept. Next day happens to be August 15th, that's Independence Day, and there is no classes, but there was flag hoisting and all parade and everything was going on at the ground behind the college. So all my friends, they went there, and I was sleeping alone in the room. I was crying, and I was thinking, Swami, what am I doing here alone? All my friends are right there enjoying the parade and everything. So after some time in the afternoon, around 1:30 or 2, I heard Anita visitors. I was thinking, who is here at this time? Then Jemma ma'am, she called me and she said, Anita, your father has come to pick you up for your treatment. So I spoke to my father, and Jemma ma'am, she gladly, she agreed that, yeah, you can go to your hometown and take the treatment and come back after once you are recovered. So this was at the time like around 3:30 in the afternoon. And after that, I was packing all my belongings, and by 4:30 we left the hostel and we went to the Anantapur railway station, and 5:30 is the Prashanti Express that comes at the Anantapur station to go to Vizag, Visakhapatnam. So I don't know, my teacher, Mrs. Dwarkarani ma'am, she is my physics professor. She got to know about this at around 4:10 or so, that I am going back to my hometown for the treatment. And then she rushed to her house. She prepared some double-boiled rice, because I am strictly with some diet I'm not supposed to eat. So she prepared some double-boiled rice with hot water, boiled vegetables, some fruits, and she packed big bag. And we all were waiting at the platform. The announcement was about to come, like Prashanti Express is arriving in platform number 1 or something like that. So that announcement was going on, and I see ma'am coming with a big bag, and she comes and she hand it over to me, and she said, child, this is for you, for your food, for the travel till you reach home. And I was so surprised, like how ma'am came to know at like 4:10 or something. When I asked her, she got to know about this incident at 4:10, and she quickly ran. She went home, she cooked, and by the time she came to the station, it was exactly like the train was arriving that time, and ma'am gave it to me. And we didn't have time to talk to ma'am, but because the train was already there, but at least like she made sure that I have that food. So I was really, this is very heart-touching for me. This is how Swami guides all of us. Though it is a small incident, but see like how Swami has taken care of me through ma'am. And long story short, like after I went to my home for the treatment, so I lost 1 year. I joined again my next junior batch to continue my final year. And before coming to Anantapur, me and my father, we went to Prashanti Nilayam again to have Swami's darshan and then go to Anantapur. So that time, after evening aarti, usually the priest who does evening aarti, after Swami's aarti, he goes to the Ganesh temple and then does aarti there, and then comes back, right? So after the aarti, the priest, he went to the Ganesh temple, and then he did the aarti, and he got one flower. He closed the gate. He got one rose flower, and I was standing the girl's side, and he came straight to me. He gave the flower to me, and he went. I just bowed down, took the flower. I I did namaskar to Ganesh, and then I looked back, I didn't see him. So what I think is this is Swami who came in that way. He got only one flower and he came straight to me, he gave the flower to me and he went. And when I turned back, he's not there. So this is all Swami that who is guiding all of us, and the teacher really through the instruments, his instruments, my professor, she took care of me in my final year completion and all. So this is my story, and this is very heart touching for me actually. Thank you. Sai Ram.
It is said, Sai Nath Hazaro Hath, in so many different ways he reaches us. Finally, we have brothers Hemant, who has spent all the way from primary school till he finished his MTech, who spent so many years. Brother Hemant, what has been the most impactful moments that you have been with Swami and witnessed? Can you please share?
Thank you, Sai Ram. We all consider Swami as Guru, right? And so it's general practice that the Guru gives a mantra as Upadesha, which if you want to continuously meditate upon until you merge into that mantra. So what is the mantra that Swami has given? And we all consider Swami as our Guru. In fact, Swami announced in a discourse given to the public, and this is your mantra, he said. What is that? Everyone was eager, and Swami said, Devudu Unnadu. It means God is. Just God is. There's no denomination. It doesn't say Rama is, Krishna is, Allah is, or Buddha is. It's just God is. And with that one powerful, profound truth, incontrovertible truth, everything else follows. The omniscience of God, the omnipresence of God, the omnipotence of God. And with that, we are guaranteed a very happy and successful life in this world. But what is Swami's message to us? If you look at all of Swami's teachings, any discourse we pick up, there is one single message that we can draw from all of his teachings. Whether Swami was speaking with primary school children, when he was speaking with vice chancellors, whether he was speaking with ladies, whether he was speaking with army people, whoever it was always, you are divine. That's the core message. And Swami lived that message. Swami was the walking Upanishad. He lived the Mahavakyas. And I can think of multiple incidents from Swami's life that demonstrated this. When he was a child, he was put through so much of physical torture when he announced that he is Sai. He said, I am Sai, and his parents took him to an exorcist trying to remove the Sai from this little boy. And they put him through physical torture, just waiting for him to say, I'm not Sai anymore, and they would let him go. But no, he sat through all of that, and in spite of all that physical torture, tonsuring his head, putting lemon, chili, garlic, cutting him up, not once did he stop saying, I am Sai. All he had to do was just say, no, I'm not Sai. I'm just this little Satya from this little village. And they would have let him go. No, I am Sai. Right towards the very end of Swami's earthly sojourn, sometime towards the end of March, he was wheeled out from the intensive care unit with all tubes sticking out of him. And one of the boys who was taking care of Swami broke down seeing him in that physical condition, and he asked Swami, how are you feeling? And Swami looked at him, and Swami said, there is pain. Noppi undi. But the very next moment, Swami emphatically said, Badha ledu. There is pain, but there is no suffering. That was our Swami. That is our Swami. Sometime in the year 1988, Swami fell down in the bathroom and had a hip fracture. And so he was giving darshan from the mandir balcony in a wheelchair. For many days he was giving. And it was the time for Onam, and devotees from Kerala were coming. And Swami said, so many devotees are coming, I have to give a discourse. And the doctors advised against standing up and giving a discourse. But Swami went against all this advice, and usually a discourse would be 1 hour. This time Swami stood up for 2 hours and gave a discourse. And in the middle of the discourse he said, you have no idea the electrifying pain that is shooting up my body. But it doesn't bother me because I'm enjoying the love from all of you as he was speaking to the Kerala devotees. Some days later, Swami moved to Brindavan, and students in Puttaparthi wrote a letter to Swami saying, Swami, please take care of your health. He was still recuperating. And Swami acknowledged their concern, and he wrote back. But right at the beginning of that letter was a preamble which clearly said what he thought of the situation. And he said, I am not the body, a bag of flesh and bones. I am not the mind and thoughts which are manifest or unmanifest. I am not this feeling of infatuation that obstructs liberation. I am the eternal Paramatman who knows that I am. That is our Swami. We often sing, Iha para sukhadhayaka sai. Swami, we have a bumper offer. We have won the lottery. I don't think there were anyone ever was so lucky like us. We have a Swami who can take care of this life, and who has also promised to guide us hereafter as well. And today is a wonderful day to rededicate our lives and realize what a wonderful opportunity we have. The earth is still warm with His presence. And let us utilize that fact, and let's remember how lucky we are. Sai Ram.
Thank you, brother. I really don't feel like saying anything after that. Anything else will not be as profound as he put it. So I really appreciate all of you for taking time to share your experiences with everyone here. And I hope all of us feel the same as how we are feeling, as very lucky that we have a guru in Swami. So thank you for the opportunity. Jai Sai Ram.